What's good, guys? Huawei Motorsport here, and I am about to be starting a brand new series today on the game Motorsport Manager 3, which is one of my favourite games. I'm going to be running the Formula 1 2020 season, and we're going to be managing, drumroll please, you already know, it's in the title and the thumbnail. We're going to be managing ALPHATAURI, the brand new team in their first season, and we're going to see how that goes. So we got them here. Here's the ALPHATAURI team. Obviously we got our drivers, Daniel Kvyat, Pierre Gasly. I've tried to match the livery as close as I can on this game. Obviously I've edited all this myself, so you're going to have to bear with the fact that the drivers' abilities, potentials, the team's liveries, all of that is my own opinion. I've kind of done that all myself, so obviously you're familiar with the Formula 1 2020 season probably if you're watching this video. If not, then maybe go familiarise yourself, but I'm going to have a quick run through what I've built anyway for this save. So we got the Mercedes Formula 1 team, Lewis Hamilton, Valtteri Bottas. Lewis Hamilton is obviously the best driver in the game, but he's reached his peak on this save, which, if you're familiar with Motorsport Manager 3, basically means that his stats are going to decline from now on. So this could be very interesting because it means that he might not win his 7th championship this season. He might never win it. So we could play this save. We might see him drop off, which will probably make the second half of the season very interesting. And if he does stay in Formula 1 into the 2021 season, very interesting. If not, even more interesting, because I have no idea who's going to fill that Mercedes seat. Then we've got Red Bull, Albon, Verstappen. Albon's obviously got a lot of growing still to do, that potential. Rocket Williams, probably going to be right at the back. Russell's got a lot of growing to do. Latifi, I found it hard to judge what potential to give him, what ability to give him. I think he's got the pay driver trait as well, because obviously he's in that Williams car because he's got a lot of money. Ferrari, again, Sebastian Vettel reached his peak. So two of the biggest drivers and best drivers in this series could actually be dropping out completely at the end of the season, which will make 2021 really interesting. And also, they might not be at the front. We might actually have a new championship winner. I'm actually going to predict that it's probably going to be Charles Leclerc or Max Verstappen in this season. McLaren, a little bit of a underdog powerhouse still. I don't know how they're going to do in this save, because I don't know how good that McLaren car is or how much development they're going to have. But Sainz Jr. and Lando Norris, good potentials, good abilities, still young. Racing Point, also to mention, I'm recording this before pre-season testing, so I've only managed to put in the team's liveries that already exist. So we've got Mercedes, Red Bull, Ferrari, McLaren, they're sorted, but Racing Point and Williams are on their 2019 liveries. And Alfa Romeo here, they've got a testing livery. Renault, the testing livery, although I put a little bit of yellow in so they'd have the yellow overalls and so that they'd have a yellow counter on the racetrack so that they're a bit more distinguishable, because otherwise there's just a lot of black dots driving around. But I will update those as the season goes on. So when the full liveries come out, they'll be updated to those. Alfa Romeo, Kimi Räikkönen, Giovinazzi. Raikkonen obviously reached his peak. He'll probably retire at the end of the 2020 season. In this game, it's rare that drivers get to 40 or get past 40 years old without retiring, so there's a very good chance he'll be gone. Renault, Daniel Ricciardo, Esteban Ocon, both very high potentials, very good abilities. If they can get that Renault car together in this save, they could be pretty good. Haas, my personal opinion of the drivers is they're not great. So 3.5 star for 3.5 star for both of them. Grosjean, I'm surprised hasn't reached his peak, but I predict that'll happen pretty soon. And then back to us, ALPHATAURI. So that's the breakdown of the teams and drivers for the season and the liveries. Let's crack on with it. So as you can see here, I've already kind of set this game up so we can just dive straight into the first race. I want to go straight to what should be Melbourne but is the Sydney GP, the Australian Grand Prix, first round of the season. So as you can see on the right here, I've already put some work, like the team to work. We're already building a front wing. We're working on the headquarters, so we're working down here at the moment. We've got the public relations team, just to get a bit more sponsor appeal, and the staff gym. Obviously, being a new team, we're starting from scratch, so I'm not anticipating us being very good, really, to start with. We have our drivers are 9th on the grid. I kind of nerfed the stats a little bit because obviously it's 2 drivers that have been bumped back to Toro Rosso in recent years, so the confidence is quite low. We're starting again, we're going to try and build up. They've got high potential, so if we can retain them and get the car working well, we can get quite high up. You know, we've got some of the best stuff on the grid. That's really jumbled around. I loaded the save up the other day. I feel like the stuff just goes all over the place all the time. But yeah, we've filled in our sponsors, so we've got some lovely fake sponsors. We're going to have 2 more opening up after the first round of the season. So yeah, we can really shape this team how we want to go. Oh, so the front wing has already actually been built before the first round, which is pretty good because when you first start out, your parts have abysmal performance and reliability. So all we can actually build at the moment is front wing until we upgrade the headquarters. But let's give this front wing to one of the drivers. Pierre Gasly wants it, but he's actually got a better car at the moment. So my drivers are equal. So in terms of fairness, we're going to give it to Daniel because we need that reliability up so that we're not just retiring from the first race. Look at the state of that car. Jesus, it's awful. Oh, we get some EXP. And we've unlocked some sponsors. So I think we're going to go for Chic Airways. Get a little bit of money. Get a little bit of influence, you know. So do sponsor. So we have all but 1 sponsor now. We just need to upgrade our headquarters a little bit. Crack on with it. So we're heading on here into the first race weekend of the season, the Australian Grand Prix. I'm excited, to be honest. I have very low expectations with us being a new team. I'm going to go for 14th or above in qualifying the race because I really don't think that we're gonna achieve much better than that. Even with our driver pairing's pretty good, but our car I think is probably going to be terrible. So this first qualifying is really a test to see what we could do. So let's send up here. We actually got a very good mechanic here. I haven't looked at the mechanic's ability, but to have 18 out of 20 on the setup, it's really, really strong for the first round. I'm going to risk it. Perfect. So obviously send him out on softs, and then we're going to send Daniel out at the same time. His mechanic, not so good. May need replacing pretty soon. I don't want to risk it too much at the start. I just want to kind of get some times on the board, see what we can do. So we're just going to go super quick, try and blitz through this qualifying session. Okay, so they've done their first laps. We're already well off the pace, but we're quicker than Lance Stroll, which is, I don't know how much of an achievement that is. It's all well and good having 18, but if you don't get the big numbers, you can't do anything. We need these better cards. Paul Dumfries. This could be close. Perfect. We are not gonna. I'm not even gonna try another one. We're gonna send out Daniel with that. So you can see the parallels with this track to the real life track. You can see what they've done with this game. Obviously, this game's been around for a while, so you know, for people who haven't played it, I would recommend it. It's a very good game, even without editing anything. It's weird. I haven't played this on my phone for a while with the dots, because I have this on my Nintendo Switch and it's the same game but with 3D graphics, and I am missing them right now. Okay, so we are gonna get one more run in, I think. I reckon we'll get round. We've got a perfect setup on Gasly. He's currently in 13th, but I think potentially we might be able to break the top 10 here. which would be amazing in our first race. Kvyat is, Daniil's not going to get even 7/10 off his time even. He's going to get 5/10 off his time, but that's the best he's going to get. I'm not going to push it anymore and risk it. So now, are we going to get round? Gasly's definitely going to get round. I think Daniil, yeah, just gets round with seconds to spare. So we are one of the few cars actually on a lap here. We might be the only 2 cars on a lap here. Gasly is up. He's quicker, but he's still 13th. It's not a bad start though. We've met our target. Bottas on pole for round 1. Valtteri Bottas, what, 3.0 now, maybe? So Bottas on pole. I mean, technically we managed to get out of quali 1 with both cars, if we're going to look at it that way, which is pretty good, in my opinion. The Haas team, well up there. I'm not sure how accurate that's going to be. We'll see when we get to Melbourne. Not sure about that one, Chief. Yeah, so here we go. I'll run down the grid. We've got Bottas on pole, Leclerc 2nd, Hamilton 3rd, Vettel 4th, 5th and 6th, the 2 Red Bulls, 7th and 8th, the 2 Haas. That is a surprise. And then the Renault powered cars, Sainz, Ricciardo, Norris in 12th, Perez breaking them up. And then ourselves, ALPHATAURI, ahead of Lance Stroll. And at the back, the Alphas, the other Alphas now, and the Williams. So we're going to crack into this race. I forget how rough it is at the start of these games. We have 10% medium performance. I think we are going to use that for Kvyat actually, because we're probably going to run on mediums at some point in this race. We're going to build up that mechanic relationship with Gasly because we literally can't do anything else right now. So I think we're going to start Gasly on the softs. We might do opposite strategies here. So we're going to start Gasly on the softs and go for 5 laps. And Kvyat, we might be able to do 2 medium stints. On this game, there's no tyre stipulation. You can run whatever tyres you want for the whole race. It's not a rule that you have to run 2 different compounds. You can run anything. So we could actually do 2 medium stints of 7 laps each, which is probably going to be quite quick, especially with 10% improved medium tyre performance. So as long as it doesn't rain, which doesn't look like it's meant to, I think this is probably the safest strategy to go for with Daniil. Yes, I understand the ERS. I actually don't know if I have it set, because if it's hybrid, I don't want to be messing with it. Automate ERS, yeah, there we go, that's what we want. So, to 5 red lights for our first race in Formula 1 as ALPHATAURI, and in 17 minutes it's going to be raining. So for all me saying it's not going to rain, we might have just completely butchered our strategy. Great. So I'm going to bump up the speed a little bit. We've gone through the first few corners. We're about to come around to the first lap. Kvyat is falling backwards, which is probably a symptom of being on those medium tyres, because there's only 2 drivers on the medium tyres and one of them's Ocon, and Ocon is in dead last at the moment behind Latifi. Well, not anymore, but Gasly's doing well. We might, if there's reliability issues for anyone in front, or we can maintain this pace, we might get points. Bottas has dropped way back to 4th, and Hamilton down in 10th. So something has gone wrong with Hamilton that I have missed. So we're already coming up almost for round 1 of pit stops here. I'm going to bring in Gasly at the end of this lap and put him on another stint of softs and hope that he can run a full length on those before the rain comes. I'm going to try and keep Kvyat out until the rain hits, because if we can play that strategy, Gasly's tyres have dropped well off the cliff there. Kvyat's in the lead. Jesus. So Kvyat and Ocon, because they're the only 2 to start on mediums, are well out in front. I'm going to have to conserve his tyres here. Grosjean in 3rd. Oh god, can you imagine if a Haas won at the first round? I'm going to slow this down because this is getting interesting, I will say. We are running very strongly here. I reckon we can get around one more lap before the rain really starts to hit, maybe two, but we're gonna have to manage Kvyat's tyres. What's he saying? Let's get some fresh tyres on in a lap or two. Yes, in a lap or two, Daniel, you can have some intermediate tyres. We might actually go over to them early. I think the rain's starting to fall. I think we're gonna take a risk. We're gonna go to the inters and try and go to the end. It's only 6 laps. And we're gonna leave Pierre out. Ocon's coming as well. Oh, what's he gonna put on? What tyres? Please be inters. He's put on inters, so we're not alone. So even if we come right at the end of the pack, we'll hopefully still be ahead of Ocon. Oh, I don't need to be preserving those tyres. Latifi's pit as well. So Latifi, we're not alone in our thinking. I think we're gonna attack for the end of this lap with Pierre, try and make up some positions, and then bring him in for the inters. Bottas is pit, Albon and Grosjean have pit, so they're gonna go on to inters. We could probably run Gasly on attacking mode. We could probably attempt to push on these tyres till the end now, because there's only 4 laps left and those tyres should last 6 to 7 laps, I think. If you look at it at this point, there's only about a pit stop gap, maybe just more, between Grosjean and Bottas at the front, and all their tyres are going to be slower if it starts to rain. So if they all pit, Grosjean and Albon could be first and second here, which is a very scary thought for the first race of this 2020 championship. Yeah. Look at them all pitting. We're going to be well into the points. Look at that. And that's Kvyat, who I did not expect this strategy to work this well. He's slower. He's a lot slower than the Renault-powered cars, which is not what we want to see. But Albon in the Red Bull Honda in first place. Albon, not even ever on the podium, could win his first race here. And Lewis Hamilton's in 11th. Lewis Hamilton's not even in the points. Vettel's in, well, I was going to say 10th. He's now got the torpedo behind him. Kvyat is actually conserving fuel, so we're going to put him onto high mix. We're going to tell him to push. See if we can make up some positions. Ocon has really gone forward. He is flying in that Renault, although his tyres are dropping off. Although I think he's going to have enough to the end. I think we could attack with Kvyat as well. We're going to attack with Gasly. We're going to have to drop the engine mix down. We do not have the fuel saving capabilities for this. Also, Grosjean in second and Magnussen in 13th. Haas have really, they're having a weird day. So we're on to the final lap of the race, just outside the points. So we're really hoping for somebody to have some kind of mechanical failure or something. Ocon's tyres are dropping off, which is a good sign, because we might just grab 10th place if they drop off enough. But Alex Albon is actually going to come round anytime now. He wins a Grosjean in second. So Alex Albon has won the opening round, and Romain Grosjean has finished second. We are going to come just outside the points, but I am very, very happy with 11th and 12th on our debut this season in the ALPHATAURI car. I am pleased with that. There's not really many shocks. Like, looking at that result, there's really not that many. We've met our sponsor title, which is good. There's not that many shocks, apart from right at the front. Like, if you look down the pack, it's pretty what you'd expect. You know, you've got the Ferraris 5th and 7th. Maybe they could be a bit higher. The Renault's rear end of the points, Sainz Jr. ALPHATAURI, obviously we don't know how they're going to do in real life yet, but I would expect them to be somewhere around the rear end of the points. And then the Racing Points, the Alfa Romeos and the Williams. But Alex Albon winning and Grosjean in second, my mind is blown. So Alex Albon, in his Red Bull, leads the Drivers' Championship coming out of the Australian Grand Prix. Romain Grosjean is in second place in a Haas. Romain Grosjean as well is one that his stats are so low. So Haas have played a blinder with the strategy here, which the same can't be said for Kevin Magnussen in 13th. Lewis Hamilton down in 8th. That is a fascinating opening round. The Constructors, we're in 7th, which is not a bad start. The highest of the 0-pointers, but we're right on the tail of McLaren and Renault. Again, Haas all the way up there. I am lost for words. I did not expect this. I don't know how this has happened. It's not like they even have good stats. So, yeah, baffled. Genuinely baffled. Other than that, it's fairly status quo. It's fairly as you would expect. I guess it could have been worse. Yeah, it's true. It's true. We did all right. I'm quite happy with that first race from our perspective. 11th and 12th, that's a good foundation to build on. Ooh, so Mercedes are bringing an upgraded engine for round 2. That's interesting. And Ferrari are bringing new brakes. Gasly's had a good interview. That's good. That's good. And Kvyat also had a good interview. So both our drivers doing well. They're both good. Gasly's feeling happy. We've got +1 to all stats. That's really good. That's going to help us a lot. And the sponsor appeal one's pretty good as well, to be quite honest. So we've made 100 grand. Not massive money, but it's enough. And now we can crack on with the supplier network. So this is really cool. We can finally start to build up this, network with ALPHATAURI, which obviously we're starting again from scratch. So I think we're going to go 2 setup stats to both mechanics. No, we're an Italian team. Let's start in Europe. We'll start in Europe. Let's not mess around. Let's go straight to Italy. This is our first one. We're going to go straight to Italy. Start off here at home and work out from there. Got a HQ upgrade. We've got the staff gym, and we also have the public relations team. So these very useful to start off with. They really kick off the way things go. What should we go for next? It's just one node and supply network. I don't want to blow all our money at once. We need to save money. We definitely want the 6th sponsor slot though. We need that to get more money. It's a fine balance. Overtaking, new setup card in qualifying. That's really useful as well. I think that's all we're going to do for now. I don't want to push it too far. What's this one? 10% reliability. I'm going to go for this. This will take us down to 10 million. And I think that's fairly solid for now. I think if we do too much more, we'll be spreading ourselves too thin and spending too much money. We're going to leave it there. An interesting first race. A very interesting first race. We've got a lot of stuff going on for the next round. Obviously Mercedes and Ferrari bringing those upgrades, so they'll probably be looking to challenge Red Bull and stop Haas from getting away with theft of points, which they just did at Australia. The only way I can imagine that happening is a very strong strategy. I'm gonna have to watch it back and be like, how did they do that? Yeah, I'm gonna leave it there. I will see you guys in the next episode. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know what you think to this series if you enjoy it. Let me know what you think of this game. Do you play Motorsport Manager? Do you play Motorsport Manager 3? Do you enjoy it? Don't forget to smash the like button, subscribe for more of this, and I will see you in the next episode.